and we are switching over to data files and CSV files. Now, what are data files? Data files are computer files. So whenever we are saying data files, don't think that this is something kept somewhere. These are computer files. They are kept in the computer and they are designed to store and organize data in a specific format. Data files are essential for storing the data and retrieving the data. So the very first thing is you will have to create a data file. After creating a data file, then you store your data, and whenever you want to work with that data, you will have to retrieve data from data. Okay, and same, fine, I'll explain you that later. They play a crucial role in data persistence, allowing us to save data and retrieve it later. So you don't have to work on time. I mean, just create it, safely your data will be there, save it, your data file will be saved separately. Your code file will be different. Data file will be different. So don't get confused with the name file, because Python files are also files, but they are coding. So they contains your code. So they are code files. So they will occupy different memory location and wherever they will be saved. And for data file, they will be saved with some other name, with some other extension. So they will exclusively contain your data. They will not contain any code. Now this file, in which you have written codes, it will refer this data file to, I mean, first of all, you will write a code to create a data file. It will be created, will be saved somewhere. Then you are writing codes or using some functions, but even then you will have to write codes. May not be 1,000 lines. You will have to write 2 lines instead of 1,000, but you will have to write some code. And using that code, now you are trying to retrieve the, first of all, you will have to put the data. So you are putting data into it. When we put the data into the data file, that means it is a writing process. It is a writing process. You are writing the data onto your data file. And when you retrieve the data from your data file, it is a reading process. Now you are reading the data from your data file. So this is how we work with the data file. So, and then just on-time retrieving is not compulsory. You have stored your data next day or after a week, after a month. Whenever you need, you can reopen your file and then read the data from it and then go for computation. So data files are essential for storing and retrieving data, and they comes in various formats: text files, JSON files, and CSV files. We will focus on CSV files, okay? Because we are going to use them, so we will focus on. So what are data files? Data files, text files, JSON files, CSV files, Excel files, database files. Now you will say, what is Excel file? You are saying, and हम तो ये use करते हैं MS Office में. Yes, आप इसी में भी use करिए. Your Excel file is a data file, because आप सोच के देखिए कि आपकी Excel sheet में when you enter data, what you store in it? Only data. कोई code रखा है आज तक? नहीं ना. You always keep data in it. So we put data in Excel files. Excel files are data files. Then database files. Previously they had provided a database management system, DBMS, Foxbase, FoxPro, then Oracle came. So database files, so these are packages meant for dealing with the data. So they provide us the commands for creating a data file, then writing data onto it, reading data from it, appending the data, and all sort of operations. So they provide us the commands. So these are the data files. Database, they also contain the data only. So they are structured data storage managed by a dedicated database management system. So these two people have been used since years. Now these text files. Again, text files means storing any type of data, often used for simple data or code. So plain data hai, text file hai, like suppose if you are you have saved your Word file, then is it a text file? Yes, it is a text file. क्या है उसमें? Only strings ना, कंप्यूटर के दिमाग से सोचिए. It is nothing but strings ही तो डाला है आपने. All characters, all numbers, all spaces, all special characters, जो मन में आए डालते चले आप, right? Don't think I'm not thinking about कि आपने तो letter लिखा था या आपने इतना अच्छा article लिखा था. I'm not thinking about that. I'm simply thinking about in terms of computer. मेरा दिमाग computer brain की. I'm computer now. I'm looking at it, and for me it is nothing but collection of all numeric characters, then alphanumeric characters, alphabetic characters, and alphanumeric means it includes all special characters. Everything is included there. So text files are those files. And comes JSON files. This is human readable format for storing structured data with using key value pair. You know key value now. What is key value? You have learned in dictionary, right? So key is written and then the value is written. Marks, in front of marks is your key and value of it. Scored marks will become value. Name and then your name. So name will become the key and your name which you are putting, it becomes the value. So we put like this data now. So this kind of is a JSON file. They can be converted into CSV files, and CSV files extensively used. So they are comma separated value files, storing tabular data in row and column. Now, just think about your problem. Again, I'll go back to your kinetic energy problem. So if you are taking any observation, what will you do? While taking the observation, you will first make columns, right? So tabular form. So in rows, what you are going to write? Your data. And in columns, what you are going to write? They will hold the properties, right? So the value of those properties, mass is a property. Velocity is a property, and value of that property you are going to write the data. So you have to think like that. So that is what is CSV file. We will learn the CSV file in detail. So CSV, from where it comes? Comma separated values. So all the data items, they are separated by commas. So therefore it is called as comma separated values. So CSV. The simple file format to store tabular data such as a spreadsheet or database. A CSV file stores tabular data, numbers and text in plain text. Each line of the file is a data record. Why each file becomes a data record? Each row will represent a record, right? Suppose we'll take another example of our, let's prepare a mark sheet of all these students. So roll number we will take, name we will take, and marks obtained in 3 subjects, right? So these roll number we have taken. So these 5 fields we need, okay? So when you need these 5 fields, you will make columns for representing each of these fields. First is roll number. In second column, you will write name. In third column, you will write M1, M2, M3 marks of all 3 subjects in different columns. Now, when you write a value for first student, his roll number, and then the name, and then the marks obtained in all 3 subjects, what does this row represent? It is a data record. So this is nothing but a data record. So each record consists of 1 or more fields. There can be a single field also, but and all of them should be separated by commas. Then it is a, wherever we put, this is the CSV file. Okay. So the use of comma as a field separator is the source of the name for this file format. So comma is must. And then Python provides several libraries to read and write to CSV file. So this is, I mean, you will have to find which suits you. So I think you can choose the one which our your faculty, I mean, expert will take. So because you will get habitual with that, and that would be the best. So Pandas we are going to use. So use that only, but I will discuss 2 at least, so that you should be aware of that. Of course, there are more than 1 methods available for reading and writing data onto CSV files. So CSV is a file format you will frequently come across while working in the field of data science. It is a type of file that stores tabular data for better readability, easier understandability, and faster processing. CSV file can be converted from a JSON file also. So that I've already explained. Now, first of all, again, data frame. I would like to make you very, very clear about the data frame, because once you understand the data frame, you have understood everything. Already you have understood But in technical way, let me explain you. So data frame is a fundamental data structure in Python Pandas library used for storing and manipulating tabular data. So it is essentially a two-dimensional table similar to your Excel file spreadsheet, where you use rows for writing your values and columns for representing those values that they belong to this particular variable or this particular parameter. Now rows structure, rows, they represents individual data points or observation. Now in technical words, we do not use data records and all those values. The values, we don't call it like this. So now we have grown up, so let's use technical words. So we are representing individual data points or observation. At least you understand of it. After doing practical, whatever observation you have taken, you write that observation in a row in your table. So this is what is rows. And columns, it represents different categories or feature of data. So whatever is the feature, so your data table consists of for particular, see, we are not going to mix the fields required for computing mark sheet and for billing purpose. We are not going to merge them, right? So a table represents a purpose. It is for specific, it has some specific meaning that this data frame, it has been prepared, this data structure is there, which has been created for this particular purpose. And according to that, you are going to put values here. So it represents the feature of the data, and each column has a unique name. We never repeat columns. We never duplicate the column. There's no need actually. So why should we waste our memory space? Even on pages, we should not waste our pages. So we never do that because we have to cut so many trees for getting one paper in hand. But anyways, so memory is very expensive. We just can't do that. Every column will hold one unique name representing feature of your data. Data types, a data frame can hold different data types. So don't worry about the data type key. If in a row, all the values should be integer, no. And they never are, right? So even if we are talking about the roll number, then it may be alphanumeric. When you're talking about the name, it is alphabetic. When numbers, it is purely numeric. And that to integer, can't be float also. So it can be a mix of data types, whatever is needed. Even Boolean values, dates, everything, all data types are eligible. You can make a column for a variable belonging to different data types. There's no problem in this. Okay? And functionality, data frames offer various functionalities for assessing data. You can specifically select a row, column, or a subset of data using indexing or filtering technique. So you can set a filter. Give me names of all the students who have scored more than 60. I want to see how many got first division in M1. My subject is M1. So give me names of all the students who have scored marks greater than 60 in M1. So this kind of commands you can write, you can code it, and these filters you can apply to your table, and you can get a subset of it. All those, so you will get the M1 marks, or greater than 60, and their names and roll number. So this will be subset of your set, right? So this way we can use it. Then indexing, you understand very well. You can arrange them in descending order if you are interested in knowing the merit list who came first. So just arrange them in descending order. So topper of the class you will come to know. So indexing is that. Then manipulation. You can perform operations on data such as many a times. See, today I have entered result of 5 students, or next, suppose 5 participants have registered today. So I have entered their names and everything in my database. And next day, data file. And next day, more number of participants are coming. So I'm not going to keep them on hold. I'll just add them on that day only, because adding command is there. Then removing columns, and later on, oh, it is occupying so much space. And then suddenly we realize that we have stored Aadhaar number of all the participants. why do we need this? No, it is becoming very big to handle also. So I'll just remove it. So you can remove columns also. And then sorting, I've already told grouping. Now grouping can be done. So in grouping, I'll have to take another example. Suppose we are taken the admission of all the students, admission taken today, but we have merged all the BSc 1, BSc 2, BSc 3, all the students in one data file. Now we will have to sort them one BSc 1, then BSc 2. So grouping is needed here, right? So this way you can go for grouping also. Then, okay, and calculation. So you know calculation means finding the total marks obtained by the student. You will add all M1, M2, M3. And if you want to percentage, then take out average and all that. Then analysis. DataFrames enables statistical analysis. Now statistical bola to sabse pehle it is mean, median, standard deviation. And exploration of relations between variables. So you know what is mean, medians, and standard deviation. So directly, because all the data are there, you can just apply one mean of all the marks obtained by the student in M2. That you can do. Then visualization. Visualization means creating charts, graph. So for that, of course, we have matplotlib, and using that library, we can do it. But from where the data will come, so data will come from here. So you can plot different graphs using those data. So these are the functionalities. Now comes the benefits of data frames. Flexibility is there. You can add a column, you can remove a column, you can delete as many records as you want. You can do anything, you can change data type, whatever you want, you are free to do. The structure of the data, when you are changing the data type, you are changing the structure of the data. Readability, of course, tabular format or mix, data organization and interpretation very clear. Efficiency, Pandas provides efficient methods for data manipulation and analysis. Integration, DataFrames seamlessly integrate with other Python libraries. All of them can be applied on the DataFrames. So for advanced data science class. Now, common use cases, importing and cleaning data from various sources, CSV, Excel files, databases, then EDA, that is exploratory data analysis to understand the pattern and relationship. So this you might be needing for physics applications, and feature engineering, creating new features from existing data for machine learning models. Machine learning data frames are primarily data source for training and testing machine learning algorithms. So when we write a program for training our data, we call it as an algorithm. This is machine learning. This is algorithm for training the model, and then this is for machine algorithms are used for training the testing and training. So separate models are there. Now we are coming back to CSV files. So let's see, write CSV using Pandas. So we will see how to write it. Follow these steps to write CSV file using Pandas. Very simple. Import Pandas as PD. So you know Pandas are imported and PD is the alias name. Then create a Pandas data frame using pd.dataframes. So always remember, one thing you can remember, data frame. So right, D is capital, frame is capital. So two different words are combined here, and always they have taken as a convention, the first as a capital, then frame is combined and it is capital. So while typing also, you'll have to keep a note, this thing in mind. So I'm repeating it. Then PD. So alias name is always written first, dot, and then whatever you want to call, you can. So syntax is pd.dataframe, data column. So two parameters are there. The data parameters takes records or the observations, and so data is row or column. It is, of course, second is column, so it can't be, but data is data, so data can only be row, sorry. And the column parameter, it takes the columns or the field names. Now I think things are clear to you that the frame we are making, so we are saying I want a row and I want a column. So this row I want and this column I want. Now, header. So what should I give the name to the columns? So name, see, this is a list. Always remember, a square bracket means it is a list. And now we will be using list many a time. Yesterday also it has been used. So whenever there is a square bracket, so you have to remember this list is being used for data manipulation. So name, comma, M1 score, comma, M2 score, and all are string constants, and therefore they are being placed in single quote. Then data, and there is one outer list, and inside this there is nested list. So in outer there are three. In outer list there are three sub lists, and these three sub lists contains data. So this is Alex. First, Alex has obtained 62 in M1 and 80 in M2. Brad 25, 45 and 56. Joy has 85 and 98. And then data equals to pd dot data frame data comma column equals to header. Now column comma equals to header means the header, you give this name as header to those columns. So this is what we are telling. And I have written the clarified also, so explained it further, so that through recording, when you will try to revise this session, you will be able to understand it in a better way. So first of all, the second line, header, M1, sorry. Okay, not for this. This I have explained actually, no? Step 4. Now in this step 4, we are creating DSV dot. Now that was one method. Wait. So this is one method you have understood. And now creating a list of headers, when creating a list of data, creating Pandas data frame is step 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what we have done, we have created a framework. We have given heading to our data file, but we are still, and we have supplied the data also, but we have not written it onto the file. So preparation we have done, but unless and until you write it onto the data file using some command, it will not be written automatically onto it. And for that, step 3 is there. So write to a CSV file using CSV to CSV. So to CSV is the function which you are going to use. What is, see how to recognize the function, don't get confused. To CSV, and inside a parenthesis is there now. So relax, it is a function. And then before that, whatever is written is a function name. So this is convention is there, and you should put this in your mind so you will never get confused. So to CSV is your function. Now data frame dot to CSV, that means now you want to write file name separate equals to index false. So here you will have to give your file name, the name of the file with which you want to store your data. Oh, yes. And then this is by default, all the data values will be separated by, it gets pressed and switches over. Okay. In separator, comma is always there and index equals to false. Now, index equals to false means by default, what it does, it also put the index value in your database. Now, index always starts with 0, always remember. It may be a list, it may be anything in computer, it always starts from 0. So, it will also write 0, 1, 2. Like 3 we have supplied. So, index of first record is 0, second is 2, and third is, second is 1, and third is 2. So, 0, 1, 2. These are the index values. And we don't want to put this into data file. So, simple, you make it false. So, index equals to false. So, this will help you. Okay. And then this is the, okay. So, explanation is given. Separator is This by default also this is the same, but you can change it if you want slash now. So for that purpose it is there. That provision they have given. If you are not comfortable with commas, which is by default will be placed automatically, then you can write your own separator. But usually it can only be slash. Don't go for any other. Don't play with this. Okay, your data file. It is very difficult to access data files. They are very, I mean, once you become expert, then it is not difficult. For beginners, it is really a difficult task to, I mean, deal with the data file. So, but you can write slash here. So if I write slash there, then commas will be replaced by slash. And then index equals to false, it is to remove the index number. And now this is the command which you have to write. Data dot to CSV. So now this is the name of the file which I have given, stu, because what I am doing, I'm doing nothing. I'm writing this statement. This is syntax. So in this syntax, I'm just writing data frame. What is the name of my data frame? It is data. Okay. So that is now data dot to CSV. To CSV, and then this is the data file's name, that is with extension CSV, which will be stored in your, it can be even saved in your hard disk. So stu dot underscore data CSV, and you can see here S is capital. So while recalling it, retrieving back, you will have to remember that S should be capital and TU should be in small letters, underscore and then DATU. Same file name you have to use. So dot CSV and index equals to false. So I don't want to put index number in data file. So this is how. Now how it will look like. Name M1 score, comma M2 score, because I hope you remember, or I can show you. Name M1 score, M2 score, right? So same is the name stored here. Then these you might be remembering, and they are being, all three records are being separated by commas. So this is explanation, but I have already explained you. So need not revise it. Then shall I cover another also? I think I can. Now using CSV dot dict writer, okay? Dictionary writer actually. So it is dictionary writer means we will store our records in a dictionary format. So that's why I have taken it that previously in earlier case we have taken lists, so lists are easier. In dictionary are also easy. I mean for big data sets you will have to go for dictionary type only. Now write CSV file using CSV dot dict writer. You can write data into CSV file. So import CSV, okay, and then using dot open function. Now see, I told you now, jab bhi this round bracket is there, it is a function. In front of it, jo bhi likha, it is a function name. Okay. So open and create a new file object with the in mode W, because we want to write. Writing means you want to put your values onto the data file. So this is writing process. And create a new file object using open function, and this is the command. Open with nahi hai command, okay? Open, and then after open in round bracket, 3 parameters you are providing because it is a function. So you have to provide the 3 arguments are there, and the values you will provide. Where it has gone? Oh. So student, yes, student data CSV is your file name, and then W is your operation which you want to perform, and then comes new line, and new line means switch over to next line. After putting first value in the file students data.csv, jump to next line, and in next line again it will fetch the next record and it will type, it will put in the data file. Then again new line, because of new line it will come to next. So okay. And as CSV file, this is the syntax you have to use, and type the data. Now, how will you type the data? See, big list is there, and inside this big list, you have given dictionaries. So dictionary data is written like this. So you might, I don't know whether you know it or not, but if automatically, if you try to export something, is always export the data in dictionary form. because it is very safe and huge amount of data can be handled by dictionary only. I mean, it can be handled by list also, but dictionary is the best data structure which should be used for it. So name, and because you know key value, so name, value Alex, M1 score, value 62, M2 score, value 80, then name, Brad, same example I have taken, M1 score, 45, M2 score, 56, and this is for Joy in same fashion. Key, value, key, value, key, value, but they are being separated by commas. And curly bracket means it's a dictionary. So dictionary is embedded in your list. Now step 4. You create a writer. Now arrangements so ho gaya, but how to write? So field name. Yes. Field name equals to name, M1 score, M2 score, because in your data file, you will have to give the header name. Header name is nothing but column name. So that you give in as a string constant separated by commas. And then step 5 is write the header row using write header method. So writer dot write header. Again, these are the methods you are using and this function you are using for it. Use the writer row method to write the data to CSV. You just try to understand. You don't have to use it. Just try to understand how it goes. I'm not asking you to, put this in action. Okay, writer dot write row data, and this will create a new file named students data dot CSV with name, M1 score and M2 score as the header and or the data variables. So knowing how to read and write CSV file in Python is an essential skill for any data scientist or analyst, because it can save time, improve productivity, and make data processing efficient and elegant. So key takeaways are creating, you have to remember, creating a comma separated values name itself suggests that it is simplest way of converting complex data into readable text files. They should be separated by commas. A file in CSV format shows you organized tabular data similar to an Excel sheet. So just recall your Excel sheet. Only the difference is there. The columns are there and we do not put commas in it. Here you will, if you open your data file, you will see commas, your values are being separated by commas. You can read a CSV file in Python using this particular function or CSV.reader.readlines or CSV.dictReader and write into it using writer.dictWriter or writer lines. There are so many functions available, and Pandas can be used for both reading and writing data in CSV. So now we will be using this. List of methods to write a CSV file. So CSV writer is there, write lines function is there, Pandas you can use, and dictWriter is also there. So many are there. Now, just go through this example. Again, the simplest example I have chosen just to make you understand that how to write a complete program. So we will write a complete program. This is a simple Python program that reads mass and velocity from an input CSV file, and we want to calculate kinetic energy for each row and write the result into new CSV file. Our old CSV file only will contain the data, and we want to write the result in new CSV file. But because we are writing a new CSV file, just storing kinetic energy for each row is meaningless. You will have to again write the mass as well as velocity and then the your kinetic energy which is being computed. Okay, so read the input. Now this is your input data file. So I've taken only two, mass in kg and velocity ms. So header mein dal diya units. Okay, and these are the two. There are two columns are there. They are separated by commas, and 5 and 2010. This is how your input data file will look. Now read. For reading, to Pandas, import Pandas as PD. PD is alias name. Define file, input file path, this, output file path, this, and then read. So df is data frame, and df is commonly used as a variable name to represent a data frame object in Pandas. So this you have to remember. Always you will be using df. So df is equal to PD alias name dot read or dot write. So dot read CSV and input file. Calculate kinetic energy. So again, df kinetic energy equals to, then this formula you have to write, and then kinetic energy column. So you just print data with kinetic energy and print df. So if you write this, then this will be printed. Mass kg, velocity m, s. Actually, this is a smart way of putting units in your variable name itself, right? And then the kinetic energy in joules. And this is your calculation. So joules kinetic energy in first case is how much? 125. In second case, it is 1000. Okay. So save. How to save? df dot to CSV, and this is how you are going to save your data. And then print the saved data. If you give this message, at least after performing the that particular operation, it will give you the message that data saved successfully. Just like we get such messages when we do some routine transactions in our daily life. Many a times you might have seen successful transaction or something like that, and successfully send your mail or something like that. So we can make arrangement for that. And if you don't make, then you won't get this message. Okay. Summary. Python libraries extend Python's capability with pre-written codes for various tasks. True. Data files are essential for retrieving, storing fast, then retrieving data in different formats like CSV. CSV files are a common way to store tabular data in a simple and portable format, because you can copy and transfer it from one place to another. I mean, you can share it. So sharing means you're sending it to some other person. And Python provides tools like CSV modules, Panda libraries to work with CSV files effectively. So this is all about CSV files. And with this, the session is over. But actually, I have one exercise for you. If you can, then you can do it. I have given the explanation. Actually, the problem I want you to solve is calculating final velocity of an object in motion. Though the problem is very difficult, but I have created a CSV file for it. So all these columns are there. CSV file is this. I can share this CSV file with you, and you can see this is in Excel. And then exercise, any of the problem you can choose. Either you can calculate frictional force using the friction coefficient and object size, object weight, and all that. Okay, compute the acceleration using net force and object mass. So whichever you feel convenient, you can do that. And the output is an updated CSV file, which will include a new column. Okay, so this you have to find. I'm not displaying output here, and I have not processed anything. This is only problem exercise I have given. If you want to, at least logically try to solve it. Don't solve it on computer, but you apply your logical mind and just keep on thinking this, then we can solve it. So like this, you go ahead. And references. Now it is question answer session.